The show, and you should check out my buddy Rod Morgan's pod, and Morgan you know, as I'm confident he's primed to make some waves on the scene.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Morgan You Know podcast. I am your host. My name is Rod Morgan, but I do not do this alone. If you are watching on YouTube, you will see three other people with me. And we thank you for watching live on YouTube or checking up later on YouTube or listening on your preferred podcast platform. We appreciate it. Like us, comment for us, subscribe, tell your friends. We absolutely appreciate all of those things like any podcast that you listen to. Joining me is the co-host of this podcast, the executive producer of this podcast, a almost lifelong friend of mine. His name is Jimmy Jamriska. Jimmy, hello.
Rod, it's been a great week. Amazing engagement on our social media, and I just love football. Unfortunately, it's the last week.
It is the last week of football. Somebody else who's loved football a lot recently, wearing his Indiana resplendently, still living in an elevated state of happiness from that. Not happy with the snow on the ground and not happy with the few other things that we will leave out of the podcast. It is our guy, Chris King. Chris, hello.
What's up, fellas? And of course, I'm still on cloud nine. The Hoosiers won a national championship in football, something that no one bet for at the beginning of the year. So, yes, I'm still just excited beyond belief.
And don't think I didn't notice that your Hoosiers beat the Boilermakers in basketball, which you say all the time. You don't care how good IU basketball is as long as they beat Purdue. So I know you enjoyed that as well.
Oh, of course, right? That's if you're a new coach at IU, that's your first requirement. You have to beat Purdue. After that comes the Big Ten title and making the tournament and then maybe winning a national championship. But you have to beat Purdue.
Making the NCAA tournament, Jimmy, something my guy Archie Miller never did, and that's why I was happy to see him go out of being the coach of the Hoosiers. But we'll get to that some other day. We have plenty of things to get to this week. Joining us to help us break down the Super Bowl. It's kind of sad because our days are running short with football and our days are running short with the handicapper. We'll probably have him on about the NFL draft. We can probably have him on about the NBA draft because he watches a lot of college basketball. I usually make him give us some sort of a horse bet around the time of the Kentucky Derby, but our guy Josh Williams, your podcast duties are going to be done here soon. Are you putting something new on the calendar for Thursday nights, Mr. Williams?
Well, if you notice, I got a Bears shirt on. I'm trying to manifest our Lord and Savior Coach of the Year tonight because if
Why?
Hey, that's good for the pocketbook, Jimmy.
Oh,
and by the way, the teams that played the six toughest schedules all went under their win total this year. The seventh team was the Chicago Bears. They were the first team out of the seven toughest schedules to go over their win total. Ben Johnson deserves the Coach of the Year.
And if listeners remember, I just asked Williams if he had new plans for Thursday evenings, and that was his response to me. Once again, Williams no-sells most of the questions that I give to him. You got to love it. Jimmy, you mentioned our social media engagement. Let's do a previously on, a check-in on social media. I think this is a good idea to do at the top of every show. What do you got for us? I understand the old man's taking a little guff. Is that right?
He is, but let's go positive first. Our Hoosiers monumental win, when I said a tear came to my eye, has over 46,000 views on Facebook right now. Really appreciate everyone taking the time to watch that. We on Facebook, we average about 300-400 views on video. So 46,000, a little bit more than normal.
Just a few more.
Just a few. But Chris King, this is probably my favorite podcast I've ever done. It's our favorite short. Your Bill Belichick rant has gone viral with hatred on TikTok, Facebook, YouTube. I believe there's anything you can possibly think of. Let's go over some of the positive ones first. The only positive one. Someone said he's right. And that was by C. King. So someone really thinks that you did a great job there, Chris. Someone else said, why do people forget about the Matt Castle year, 111 games? A few people brought that up, knowing full well they just watched the short and not the podcast, because, of course, Williams, you brought that up, correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
They should also remember they didn't make the playoffs that year either.
No other coach won 11 games with Matt.
Potato,
Cassel. Come on.
potato, Chris. Let Jimmy get to the comments, Chris. You'll have your chance.
All right, I've got two more for you. This is my second favorite from TLM on TikTok. Well, thanks for letting me know to never listen to your podcast. Never mind what he did with other teams. Never mind other players on the teams. Never mind the coaching staff he hired. The fact that you put this content out, I would have never known this person said it. But this is what you chose to represent you. Immediate block, and I will never listen to your podcast. Thanks for letting me know.
Oh, there we go.
Wow.
Okay, listen, I appreciate that guy for letting us know every last thing that was on his mind, telling us how he felt in the moment and how he was going to react in the future. I appreciate that man for being thorough.
Nice rage bait. Belichick led a team in 08 without Brady to an 11-5 record. A few people brought that up. But my favorite comment of all comments is the following. They really need to make podcast equipment more expensive. Ladies and gentlemen, love it.
That is phenomenal. That is
Really appreciate the
phenomenal.
engagement, folks. And, some people said that it was rage bait. It's really not.
It's
Chris
definitely not.
believes this. I don't know why he believes it, but Chris, apparently you were proven right because he's not a Hall of Famer. No one's a Hall of Famer in New England, apparently.
I mean, if they were really fans and had listened to our podcast over the past 3-4 years, I think I've been spouting this out, right? I've been saying it consistently over and over and over again. Without Tom Brady, 0 Super Bowl wins as a head
All right.
coach.
All right. Let's not
And-
go down the same. Go ahead.
I was going to say, and yeah, won 11 games with Matt Castle. Never made the playoffs with them, though. Maybe got to the playoffs with the Browns in '94, but Stefanski did it twice in the 2020s. So is Stefanski better than Belichick? Probably not, but I don't think Belichick is as good of a head coach as everyone claims he is. I'm still going to stand by it. I don't care what anybody says. You're not going to be able to change my mind.
That's
And
why
maybe
Chris-
I'm just a little bit biased because I'm a Colts fan, but who cares?
And that's why Chris is the best. He's never going to come down from his stances. He is not about hot takes. He's not about rage bait. He is about what he believes, and there's no telling him anything other. I have a good, cold, open question for you boys. It is related to the Super Bowl, but it is indeed going to make Williams angry. So much so, it will be amazing if he no-sells the cold, open question of the week. He may do this. We will find out here. But we all know that the folks that don't love Super Bowl tend to tune into the Super Bowl and hey, what's going on with the halftime show? And there's been an awful lot of talk about this halftime show, but we're not going to go into a lot of that talk. We're just going to say that it's certainly been on a lot of people's minds. And my question to you for the cold open question is, you are programming the Super Bowl halftime show. Chris, who are you putting in the slot?
I'm bringing back the Bud Bowl. Give me Budweiser
Okay.
versus Bud Light.
Okay. All right. So the Bud Bowl is the halftime performance. Is it going to be all animated, or are you going to do some sort of performance on the field?
Oh, no, animated. Might as well just use artificial intelligence at this point. That's where we're at right now, right? But no, give me animated. I used to love those. I mean, it's all the member berries for me, so give me all that. I used to
Okay.
love the Bud Bowl.
So are we're completely throwing out entertainment for the folks that pay the top dollar to get to the Super Bowl? We're just throwing that out for them. You guys just go get some merch, go get some concessions, come back to the field. We're not doing any halftime for them.
Go spend the money at the concession stands, use the bathroom. I'd rather have you go into do that at halftime than miss the game. Like, you're supposed to be there for the game, not the show at halftime. Although there have been some great halftime shows, like, let's not get it twisted, right? Whether it was Michael Jackson in the Rain or when Dre and Snoop and everybody was on stage, like, that was an awesome show. But no, give me the Bud Bowl.
Jimmy, I'm going to go to you on this. I was interested, and I did a little bit of light Googling. I don't believe Delamitri is still together, Jimmy, so I'm not sure that you can give us a little Delamitri for the halftime performance. We all know your all-time favorite, Meatloaf a Day, is unfortunately passed, so you're not going to be able to put Meatloaf up for us, Jimmy. So I'm a little interested in what your halftime performance would be.
Picture it. A Little Giants live rewatchables with Bill Simmons, Chris Ryan, and Sean Fennessy. Let's go.
All right. So Chris has completely foregone all the entertainment for the people in the stadium for an animated performance. Jimmy is elected to elongate halftime to almost 90 minutes now to be able to fit in an entire rewatchables. But Jimmy, I'm not against it.
Because I don't have any music taste, Rod. And like you said, a lot of the people I like are not with us anymore. So
I know you're a big Celine guy. Celine is not done halftime.
she's having a tough time too. It's not good for
true.
Jimmy's musical tastes.
That's true, Celine. But you think she'd be able to pull it together for a Super Bowl performance. But, we better get that done soon. But we'll see. Yeah. I like that, though, Jimmy. A live rewatchables with Simmons and crew, and it's Little Giant, so it's football related. We're going to get the ice box. We're going to get the annexation of Puerto Rico. A lot of good things happening there. We're going to get some Ed on. Yeah. maybe we don't want to give anybody any ideas at this current time, Jimmy. Maybe that's not the greatest thing for us to run.
Yeah, we don't want to have anyone want Puerto Rico to be part of the United States. That'd be ridiculous.
We certainly wouldn't want that, would we? Williams, I gave you plenty of time. All right. And you always say that you get too nervous about these questions. You don't like when I throw these pop culture things at you, but I did it anyway. Who's your halftime performance?
I think it depends on where the Super Bowl is at. So I think this year they totally missed their chance with San Francisco. This would have been the perfect last hurrah for Metallica. I'm a rock guy. I'm an indie rock alternative guy. So if it's in Detroit, you got to go Jack White. If it's in Seattle, you got to go Pearl Jam. LA, Red Hot Chili Peppers. If it's ever in Ohio for some ungodly reason, the Black Keys. And if for some reason hell on earth is froze over and the Super Bowl's in Kentucky, then Cage the Elephant. So those are my six right there. Nobody's gonna watch those because I don't know what happened with rock and indie rock and alternative music, but I still love it. So I think it depends on where the Super Bowl's at. But yeah.
I love the hometown roots, Williams, and I got to say a couple of those are probably doable, right? Like Pearl Jam the Pearl Jam's big enough to be a halftime, right? Red Hot Chili Peppers, they're big enough to be a halftime. That's good. And one of your other answers, I think the NFL should consider soon. I was going to say Jack White, Williams. I think he absolutely is great when you see him do SNL performances. He's absolutely phenomenal. I saw him recently just this summer. The guy's come out of his prickly shell a little bit and just embraced his elder statesman of rock and just allows people to have a good time at his shows and give me Jack White, man. I think that's a great answer by you, William.
We saw it this year on Thanksgiving with Eminem.
Yeah, Detroit. That's right. He was awesome with Eminem. That's a good call, Chris. I'd completely forgotten about that. So there you go. Cold open question for the week. We got through it. Now it's time to let you folks see why Josh Williams is really on this podcast, what he's really good at, the football handicapping. But Jimmy, I understand we cooked up a little bit of a game to play here as we get into some of our Super Bowl thoughts.
Yeah, we're going to do a nice little fun prop bet game that Williams came up with. We're going to kind of draft these. Williams, talk about it a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, each guy here has come up with two kind of fun props, and whoever scores the best out of the 8 different props can declare himself king of this year's Super Bowl. So hopefully we got some fun engagement here with the listeners and the fans.
King up there in the corner wanting to call himself that, aren't you, Chris? How confident are you that you're going to be the king of the Super Bowl prop bets?
Oh, not at all.
Attaboy. All right. I love it. Jimmy, how confident are you that you're going to be the king of the Super Bowl prop bets?
I have no idea what these are, so I'm not going to win at all. No question. Not going to win.
Okay, you know what then? I'm going to step up for the normies out there, the people. I got my Undertaker shirt on. I am going to bury Williams with the tombstone and win this thing. Let's go. Who starts?
I think Williams starts.
Okay, we'll start it off with, will Sam Darnold and Drake May have more combined interceptions than total shots of Cardi B during the game? If anybody who doesn't know, Cardi B is the girlfriend of Steph Diggs, and who, I mean, could possibly be up in a booth with as a guest with Robert Kraft. Let me say that in a suite. So I don't know if she's going to be up there or not. So this one, when you throw pop culture stuff in here, this is going to be tough for me. You guys might have the edge here.
Okay, so you said that it is May Darnold combined interceptions against number of times Cardi B is shown during the telecast. Is that correct? Now,
Yeah,
let me
so-
ask you this other question. Okay. If Cardi B shows up during halftime, does this count?
Yeah, see, I don't think so. And
Because
it's got to be.
There's a
It's
good
gotta-
chance she shows up with old Bad Bunny.
Yeah, I've heard that could be a possibility. I don't think you count the halftime performance if she's going to be a guest there. And this also has to be from first quarter, 15 minutes until the end of the game, because if they show her like 7 times pregame, that doesn't count.
Okay. All right. So, okay. This number, phew. So I'm not going to give away because I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do here. Am I supposed to give away the number? Or am I supposed to say which way you're going to go?
No, neither. Just which way you're going to go. You don't have to say a number.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to say there is more interceptions by May and Darnold than shots of Cardi B, because Sam Darnold led the NFL in interceptions in the regular season, and Drake May has been a little turnover prone in the postseason. So I'm going to say that number is maybe 4, maybe even 5, because these defenses are pretty good, and I don't see 5 to 6 shots of Cardi B during the course of the game if halftime doesn't count.
Okay.
I'm actually going to go the opposite of Rod. I think Stephon Diggs
Shocking.
gets. Yep, I think Diggs gets some catches, and I think they show a shot of her every catch he gets. I think he has more receptions than they do interceptions, especially because I think Darnold's been playing great this playoffs, and May's been getting sacked more than he is throwing interceptions. So give me Cardi B visual over the interception number.
I hate to say it, Rod. I agree with Chris on this one. I think we're going to get more Cardi B shots.
Okay, then I'm going to ask both of you guys a question right now. Do you think that NFL game coverage has shifted to a world where they want to show wives and girlfriends of everyone? Or do you think that just happened because Taylor Swift happens to be one of the 5 most famous people on the planet? Because I got news for you guys. Cardi B's famous, but she ain't Taylor Swift famous.
She's not, but there's been so much around her, Rod, that it's going to be a focal point. They're going to talk about her a lot. Mentions of Cardi B, I think, are going to be up a lot as well. And it just depends on how well Diggs does. I think he's going to have a really good game, kind of like Chris, so we're going to see a lot more of her. So, yes, they're going to show her.
All right, Williams, where are you going on this?
Yeah, I'm with you, Rod. I'm gonna say there's more Darnold and May interceptions than shots of her.
Hell yeah, let's go. All right, so I'm going on to one of mine then, because I'm fired up now, and we're also on to pop culture stuff, so let's stay here. We're going to stay with the name that Williams brought up when he brought up Cardi B, and it's not Stephon Diggs. My prop bet is, will the broadcast mention Patriots owner Bob Kraft? I saw this at plus 900. This is insane. This is an insane prop bet if you can find this somewhere for plus 900, but I will refrain from my answer right now.
I think they definitely will mention.
saying they have to, yeah.
Yeah, I think they'll definitely mention Kraft, especially
You don't
during
have
the
to
game.
mention an owner. You don't have to mention an owner. I mean, it's not like NFL rules that you have to mention an owner for a team during the broadcast.
The reason I think that they're definitely going to mention Kraft though is just due to the Brady situation that just popped up.
Okay, Chris, you're on the side of they will mention him, Jimmy.
Yeah, I think they're going to mention him as well. Every time they show Cardi B, they're going to show Kraft there, and they're going to say, hey, she's in Robert Kraft's suite.
Williams, I'm assuming you're going to go with the same.
Williams?
Yeah, I think more so because of the Hall of Fame, not necessarily because Belichick didn't get in, but he didn't get in. So I think they're going to have to address that. I think the wording is kind of weird here. They have to say his actual name.
Yes.
Maybe that's why it's plus 900. But I would think that they would say it, not just there's the owner of the Patriots. So this feels super trappy here, but I'm going to go with yes.
I'm going to go.
Rob, what do you think?
I'm going to go with no. I'm actually going to go with no. I'm going to go with they don't want to give Bob Kraft the shine. I'm going to go with they all saw Bob Kraft's performance accepting the AFC Championship trophy, and that was scary. Everybody was nervous when Bob Kraft was on a live mic, and I just think we are going to avoid the Bob Kraft of it all. And if they say something, it might be a Mr. Kraft, and it will never be a Bob Kraft altogether. Like William said, you got to watch out for little trick stuff there. So I'm actually going to go with no. At no point did they say the words Bob Kraft. Maybe there's a boatload of Mr. Kraft, And maybe
Can there be a Robert count?
Right. Maybe there's a Robert, but no to Bob Kraft.
Okay, so that's important. So Bob Kraft.
That was how I saw it.
All right.
That was the prop bet that I saw. That one was not available on DK, but I found it.
So wait,
All right,
how are we grading it if they say Robert Kraft?
Then it's not right. It's got to be Bob Kraft.
Oh man, this might change my vote then.
I know. That's interesting because they call him Robert. All right, so I'm going to go next. The number of pictures or videos of Mac Hollins and what he wore to the stadium versus Mac Hollins receptions.
Ooh, good one.
I'll start off. I'm going to go with more pictures and video. I think they're going to show it 3 or 4 times throughout just because they're going to go with that theme.
Give me on the side of receptions. Drake May kind of found a liking to Matt Collins during the season, and then he's been off. And I think Drake's going to be looking to go to his security blanket for some easy receptions early in the game, and that will give him a number like 4 to 5. And there's no chance Matt Collins' outfit gets shown 6 times.
Okay, I got a question about this though. Is this only during the game? Because you can only get receptions during the game. Are we talking like views and video pregame show?
A pregame show, it's going to be like 1,000. No, during the game, I think they're going to show it. So it's going to be first quarter through fourth quarter.
I think I'm going to go receptions. I think he gets over 2 receptions. I don't think they're going to show him more than 2 times.
Okay. And Williams.
I'm with you, Jimmy. I'm going to go pictures and video. Seattle is the best team at limiting explosive plays. The Patriots like to throw it deep. Who do they like to throw it to deep to? Kayshon Boutte is one, but Matt Collins is another one. I don't think the explosive plays are going to come in this game. So give me the pictures and video of him walking in barefoot to San Francisco.
All right.
Are we really that surprised that somebody's going to be walking around barefoot in the plate where Haight-Ashbury was famous? I mean, honestly, we got to show a picture of him during the Super Bowl for walking in somewhere in San Francisco barefoot? That's ridiculous.
It's a normal Tuesday.
That's what I'm talking about. Chris, what do you got for us?
Okay, the first one, and this is only going to count during the game, all right? First, second quarter, third, fourth. Doesn't include pregame, doesn't include halftime or postgame, okay? Tom Brady mentions by the broadcasters versus the total pass attempts of Drake May. Which is more?
Wow.
Now, I'll give you guys some background on Drake May pass attempts. He's had 8 games this year where he has attempted over 30 pass attempts, but he hasn't attempted that many pass attempts since early December. And we know Tom Brady's been in the news a lot lately for not picking a side here. He has no dog in this race. How much do the broadcasters mention Brady during the game?
This is interesting. Williams, what do you think?
I'm going to go Drake May pass attempts.
I can't see the broadcasters bringing him up double-digit times. He's not going to be there. Yeah, I'm going to go Drake May pass attempts as well. It's interesting because it easily could be. And if Fox was doing this, you couldn't do this there, okay? But no, I think it was good.
Give me Tom Brady mentions. Whether they're talking about Patriots in Super Bowls past, there's a good chance that the quarterback in that Super Bowl that they're talking about was Tom Brady. Whether they're talking about a record that somebody has in the Super Bowl, there's a very good chance that it's about Tom Brady. Tom Brady is going to be at the game, so that we're going to show him like he's a celebrity. We're going to maybe mention something that Tom Brady said, like Chris said there. They don't have a dog in the fight. Tom Brady, Tom Brady, Tom Brady, Tom Brady, Tom Brady.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at, Rod. It's going to be a lot of Tom Brady. Patriots haven't been to the Super Bowl since Tom Brady. Everything May does is going to be compared to Tom Brady in a Super Bowl game. I think you're going to get more Tom Brady mentions. I think that if the Patriots want to win this game, they need Drake May to throw less, and they need to be successful in the run more. So I think Tom Brady mentions as well.
Tom Brady.
Okay. All right, I'll go next here. First touchdown scorer's uniform number.
I looked at this one.
I love this one, is under 10.5 or it's over 10.5. I think it's going to be under 10.5 because I think Drake May is going to score the first touchdown.
Does this mean he has to run the first touchdown in?
Yeah. The person who actually scores the touchdown. Yes.
Come on, Chris. What are you talking about? Nobody's
I
gonna.
wanna
No
make-
bet's gonna win because Drake May threw a passing touchdown for touchdown. That's not how things work.
I'm just making sure I know the rules. Give
Chris
me
is
over
used-
10.5.
Chris is a Cowboys fan. He's used to cheating.
Yeah, I want over 10.5 as well. I can't believe I'm with Chris so many times tonight, but I want over 10.5.
Williams, what are you thinking?
Man, do I get extra credit for a push here? What if there's no touchdowns?
Okay. If you don't think there's going to be any touchdowns in this game, which would be
Shut the NFL down. Shut it down. If we have a game between these two garbage teams and nobody scores a touchdown, shut it down.
12-9 final score.
Do I automatically win?
Yes.
I
You won
can
the
get
whole
every
thing.
other question wrong.
You win a permanent vacation from this podcast because we're never talking about the NFL again if they give us that disgusting Super Bowl.
Now I will go over, but
all right. If there's a touchdown scored.
yeah.
Yes, Williams, you've hedged your bet. You won't actually make a bet that says that, but now this will pay off, and then you're going to want a whole ton of credit for just mentioning it in passing that maybe that'll happen.
But he's not going to say bet it on the podcast. He'll do it on his own. Chris, what's yours? What's your next one?
Okay, this has a lot of fluid movement in it, and it could go either way. All right, because it
Usually
depends.
podcasts can.
It depends on who's going to get the ball first.
Is this
It's
about
gonna
somebody's knee joint? Please tell me
No.
this isn't about somebody. Okay.
No, which is longer, the singing of the national anthem versus the first offensive possession of the game?
Whoa.
And that's in game time. So you know that the national anthem is usually 2 to 2 minutes 45 seconds. Does
It's
the
not
first
2 minutes,
offensive
45 seconds. It's like 2:10, 2:20, isn't it? It's not that long.
I don't know. I'm just saying, but in game time, is that going to be longer than that first offensive possession? Is someone going to go 3 and out? Are they going to have a long drive?
I like 3 and out. I say national anthem is longer. Because you're going to have an incomplete pass in there, which slows down the game clock too with the 3 and out. So I'm going 3 and out. National Anthem by Charlie Puth is longer.
Okay, Williams.
Man, this is really good.
Yeah,
This is
good
a
one.
this is really good because I kind of think this is 3 and out also. Man, I guess I'm going to go with the national anthem longer.
All right. I am a optimist here. I think there's going to be a long drive and a touchdown drive on the first possession. I think the first possession of the game will be longer.
Jimmy, just admit that you're saying that because you don't know who Charlie Puth is.
Yeah, I have no idea.
But Jimmy, I guarantee that you've heard a Charlie Puth song. Have you seen the credit sequence of Fast and the Furious 7, Jimmy?
Nope, not a fan.
You've not heard the Paul Walker tribute song, Jimmy? You don't know the Paul Walker tribute song?
I do not.
That's Charlie Puth and Wiz Khalifa, I believe, did the Fast and the Furious Paul Walker tribute song. That's how I know my Charlie Puth.
As do we all.
All right, I'll go next since I just talked about pop culture there.
Well,
I'll flex my-
what's
the
longer,
answer.
Rod?
What?
Wait,
Oh, you
Chris
said
has to
national
answer.
anthem. Chris, yeah, what's your answer, Chris?
I'm going first offensive possession is longer.
Let's go. All right, Rod.
My final prop for the Propapalooza to see who's king of the props is involving one Bad Bunny. His first song when he starts his halftime performance. This is at plus 430. The first song is Titi Me Pregunto. I say, nah. It is not going to be Titi Me Pregunto. He is going to play Nuve Vol. Nuve Vol will be the first song by Bad Bunny. Do not bet the favorite, Tite Me Pregunta, at plus 430. But Jimmy, I would like to hear the song that Bad Bunny played when he made his entrance to fight Damian Priest in the Puerto Rican street fight, because I'm not sure I've seen a WWE entrance that was as lit as when Bad Bunny came down and Samantha Irvin yelled, "From Veja Baja, Puerto Rico, Bad Bunny." That place went nuts.
It did. That's great. So basically, it's Nuve Vol versus the Field is what you're thinking.
I say
right
Nuve
now.
Vol is number one because it's just upbeat. It just gives you exactly what Bad Bunny's into, and then it's good because the song that he came down in the WWE, there's kind of like gunshots going off. I think we're going to try to avoid that. Nuve Vol's a little more happy. I don't know what he's saying. You know what I mean? Like I don't know what he's saying, but it seems happy to me.
Yeah, I don't like the rhythm of the song, how it's set up, the orchestra, not good. So I'm going to go the Field. You can give me $1 million to pick that out. I wouldn't have no idea.
Look at Rod trying to win this. Man, these are kind of two dirty questions here for someone who has no idea about Bad Bunny. And then we're getting
guess
super
what?
technical.
I have no idea about luck and ref and how many times a guy dropped back and actually had a success rate. I have no idea about any of that, but I come on here every week and still try to go toe-to-toe with you, all right? So step in my ring, buddy.
We're getting super technical with Bob and Robert here.
You're so pissed about that. I love it. He's going to go and change his mind. I love it.
You know what? Rod was so convincing there. I'm going to go with Rod. If Rod wants Nuve Vol, I'm going to – he's got good music taste. Let's go.
I won the podcast by getting Williams to say Nuve Vol. I won the podcast.
Yeah, that was not on my bingo card. Chris.
I couldn't name you a single Bad Bunny song. I don't know if I could tell you the difference between the first one Rod mentioned or the second one. I do remember that WWE entrance. I don't care if there's gunshots in the beginning of that. That's what I want to hear first.
All right, so you're going to go with the Field.
Was Titi mi pregunto. All right, that was the first one that I mentioned. Okay, give me some credit for studying that.
And finally, Williams, you're up. Last one.
Okay, so who has more in the game? JSN receptions or amount of different players to have at least one rushing attempt on both teams?
Give me JSN receptions.
Yeah, I like
Give me the
JSN
receptions.
I think there's a good chance JSN is your Super Bowl MVP.
I'm going to go do that too, which kind of worries me because everyone's picking him to have a big game, and Sam Darnold is his quarterback. Williams, what do you got?
Okay, this might backfire on me, but I set this question up so you guys would take JSN, so I have to go the other way. I'm going to go with most rushing attempts or total rushing attempts from everybody else.
So then, wait a minute. So you're saying you think you're going to get three
total
different players? It's like what, like 6, 7? Like what are the most different players you can get rushing attempts out of? You think?
Yeah. I think it's going to be about 6 or 7. Josh McDaniels has come up with some trick plays.
So you think a receiver is going to get a carry in there for each team?
I think
Little
Shaheed
boutique.
is definitely going to get a carry.
Let me ask you.
Could actually
All right,
gotta ask you, Williams.
So you're looking at JSN. No, hold on, Chris. You're looking at JSN 5 receptions, basically, is what you think. You think the Patriots defense is going to be able to shut him down? What? Because of Christian Gonzalez?
No, you got to remember both quarterbacks can run too.
That's where my question goes to, Williams. Are you counting a sack as a rushing attempt for that quarterback? Because the NFL does in their stats.
No, Darnold's got to have at least one rushing attempt. He's got to.
Wait a minute. How do rushing attempts factor in there? I thought I was supposed to do just JSN versus
the number of players who run.
Oh yeah, so quarterback rushing attempts. All right, but that's okay. So even if it's 8, I still think JSN's
so that's 2 running backs. That's 6. Yeah, you're looking at over. Yeah, if JSN's going to be your MVP, he's going to have 12, 13.
That's where I'm going. You're not talking me off that ledge, Williams. I got you to come to me with Nuve Vol. You're not talking me off the JSN ledge.
All right.
That is our prop bet. We will go over that next week to see who is the ultimate prop master. It will definitely not be me.
All right, let's Williams, I know you got a couple of things left that you can say about the Super Bowl. Let's get those and then get our official picks here.
Yeah, so I'm going to try to explain to you how both of these coaches are going to try and stop the other team. when New England's on defense, 55% of Darnold's pressures this year have come from the interior. That's a top 5 rate. The Pats D this postseason has been creating havoc up the middle with Barmore, Williams, and Durden. The Pats in the second half of the year upped their blitz rate to the 6th highest rate in the league. And in the playoffs, they've upped it even more. None of the other 13 playoff teams have blitzed at a higher rate in the playoffs than the Pats. And you have to wonder if Vrabel and that defensive staff take a look at how Brian Flores defended JSN this year. This is why I have this question. And that whole Seattle offense, they limited Brian Flores and the Minnesota Vikings limited Darnold to 128 yards passing, and JSN had 2 catches for 23 yards, no touchdowns. They pressed JSN and put a safety over the top, a la Bill Belichick used to love to do that. Used to put the number 2 corner pressing on him, put the safety over the top. Bill Belichick loves to make you beat them left-handed. That's what Brian Flores did. You got to wonder if Mike Vrabel is going to do the same thing. They pressed JSN, put a safety over the top. Remember, Brian Flores was part of that mastermind group that put that defensive game plan together for the Patriots in that second Super Bowl versus the Rams in 2018. That was the 13-3 Super Bowl where the Rams came in as the number 1 offense in the league. Now, what's interesting is when Seattle is on defense, teams don't play cover 6 very often. Cover 6 is a split field coverage. It's quarters on half the field and then a cover 2 shell on the other half. The league average of playing this coverage is only 10% on passing snaps. In the second matchup between the Bills and the Pats, Sean McDermott decided to use that coverage on 50% of May's dropbacks. May averaged just 4.3 yards per attempt. This is someone who loves to throw the deep ball, by the way. He averaged negative .34 EPA per attempt, took 2 sacks, and was picked off. The Ravens the next week saw this and decided to play their highest rate of cover 6 they employed all season. Now, the Ravens use this coverage at the lowest rate in the league, so they used it at only 10 of May's dropbacks that game. May only completed 2 of 10 passes, was sacked twice, and he had a pick with 20% success rate. The Texans and the Broncos both upped their cover 6 frequency in the playoffs against them. May struggled mightily in those games. And guess who plays the 3rd highest rate of cover 6 already? The Seattle Seahawks. And they actually lead all 14 playoff teams in percentage of snaps in the playoffs using cover 6 coverage. Why is this coverage so successful? It's because the Seahawks have guys in their secondary that are good against the run. The rookie Nick Amenuori, amongst others. This is kind of a Fangio-style defense. A lot of cover 4, cover 6, hybrid type defenses. And so, I just think this is going to be a low scoring game here. And the defenses, you got 2 defensive head coaches, have 2 weeks to prepare for this game. I like my best bet in this game is the under 45.5.
So if I'm hearing you correctly, you're saying that coaching and game plans can matter. Is that what I'm hearing you say here, Mr. Williams? Is that what you were just telling us?
For sure.
Chris, up there in the right-hand corner, were you hearing that about how coaching and game plans can matter and that sometimes it's not necessarily about the personnel? Did you hear that the knowledge that our handicapper just put down there?
Yeah, no, I've seen that plenty of times. Maybe not when Bill Belichick coached, but plenty of times. I will say this. If I'm a Pats fan, I am worried about how my offensive line has played in the playoffs, especially. They are giving up 5 sacks per game. It's pretty amazing to me that they've been able to win all these games. I think they probably should have lost the Denver game, but if I'm a Pats fan, I'm worried about that offensive line.
Well, Chris, we all know you definitely want the Patriots to win so that they can claim they have an all-time great head coach that has a Super Bowl victory there, because for some reason you don't want to give any credit to the guy that has a bunch of others that won him there. So we'll come back to you for your pick in a second. Jimmy Jam, what do you got? Your Super Bowl pick. Jimmy, you're muted.
All right. I have the Patriots winning 22-17 in a relatively low-scoring game.
Patriots 22-17. Gross, Jimmy. Gross.
I don't like it either, but they're going to win. We all know they're going to win because it's the Patriots and they have terrific coaching and ownership.
I'm going Seattle. All right. I want the Seattle Seahawks to win, and I want the Seattle Seahawks to win for one reason, and that's because I think Mike McDonald will be the most nondescript wet blanket of a head coach to ever win the Super Bowl. Okay. Tony Dungy was kind of not really charismatic, but like at least Tony had the whole, he was a big time man of God thing going for him. So at least he had that angle going for him all the time. I know nothing about Mike Macdonald. He seems like he is no fun at parties. He seems like he is just absolutely all about football. And frankly, I'm kind of bummed out by it. I like the football coach as a character. Give me a guy like Bruce Arians. Give me a guy like Bill Belichick. Give me a guy like Mike Tomlin. I'm disappointed that a complete just, hi, I'm a milquetoast white guy is going to be the Super Bowl winning coach.
There's no way he can be more boring than Gary Kubiak.
Kubiak has a cool last name.
McDonald's a defensive guru, man.
McDonald's not even a cool name. You're named after a lame fast food franchise. At least Kubiak. Like, what's a Kubiak? Who knows? It's kind of cool. This guy's got a Kubiak. You see that Kubiak around the corner? That's cool.
Mark Crippler, Seattle, and I don't care as long as one of my squares hits, and really that's all we're in for at all. So thank you, Mark. Chris King, who you got?
I got Seattle 37-23.
Well, I didn't say my score, by the way. I have Seattle 2-0. I want an even uglier game than Williams was trying to make happen.
No touchdowns then, Rod.
Oh, yeah.
That's not, you know what, though? It's not a bad idea to have a safety in there, though, with this defense and that offensive line. That's not a bad idea. Williams, who you got?
Me and Rod both agree that
2-0?
No, the Patriots might not score a touchdown in this game. I just don't know where it's coming from. This Seattle defense is so buttoned up. Yeah, I'm going to go Seattle 16, Patriots 9.
Look out. Mr. Williams, I'm going to ask you a question here live on the podcast. Do you want to come back next week and recap the Super Bowl, or do you want to just wait out a little bit and we'll do more draft stuff? What do you want to do?
No, it's fine. I can come on and recap it if you want.
He has to come back, especially if he wins.
Oh, yeah, I guess we got to crown a winner of the prop bet. So, yeah, all right, we'll have Williams back to recap the Super Bowl with us. Then he'll go away for a little bit while we talk basketball. And for you basketball fans, there was a pretty big deal today. The trade deadline was at 2 p.m., and my wonderful co-host, Jimmy Jamriska, is going to help us run through some of it right now as we run the fast break.
That's right. It's a fast break, the fastest 15 minutes in the NBA. Gentlemen, the big news. He is back. Mac McClung is back with the Bulls. He can get in the slam dunk contest. He's an NBA player. We got him. He's a guard. The Bulls needed guards. They signed him to a 10-day contract. We love Mac McClung. But I digress. I have a couple true-false questions for you. We're going to go to Chris for this one. Chris. The Pacers made both you and Rod happy by tanking and buying at the same time.
I don't think it's a tanking move.
You're so pissed.
I really don't. I think I don't. I don't think it's a tanking move. We knew we needed another 5. What we have isn't working. We do know that we're really waiting for players to get healthy, and that hasn't worked out at all for us this year. But the fact that we didn't sell the entire team, we didn't break up anything, right? We essentially got rid of a couple role players from last year's team and not starters. So, like, hey, I'm all for it.
Rod, can you please explain to Chris these protections on this pick this year? Because this is pretty, I believe, 10 to 20. So anywhere in between 5 and 10, the Pacers don't get their pick.
That's exactly. It's not just 10 to 20. It's 10 to 30. So like the only
10 to 30. Sorry. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
The only way that the Clippers get the pick is if it's 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9. And to me, Chris, if the Pacers were not tanking, they wouldn't have put any protections on the pick whatsoever. If you're not tanking and you're just in for Zubac because Zubac's going to make you a winning franchise, then you're not worried about the protection. But The Pacers are worried about the protection because they're a smart NBA franchise, and they understand that the best thing for them to do is continue to lose games and get a top 4 pick, because nobody wants the Pacers to lose in perpetuum, Chris. Okay, but they have a player who's.
I gotta ask you a question, because you guys are more knowledgeable when it comes to contract negotiations and matching out trades and everything. Does a protected first pick, is that considered worth less than an unprotected pick in a trade?
No, it's not. It's the same. There's no cash value for any of that.
I would have thought there would be. I would have thought that a protected pick would be worth less to the team receiving it than an unprotected pick.
This is the Pacers getting.
I'm sorry. Well, it's worth less, but not monetarily. Yeah.
This is the Pacers getting hammered.
The Pacers have to tank, because if they have the second worst record, they could fall out of the top 4. They have to have the worst record to guarantee a top 4. If they have the second worst, they could still get that top 4, but it's not guaranteed. They've got to be bad, Chris.
It's going to be tough. The Kings, which we will talk about later, have proven that they are on a losing streak to end all losing streaks. I don't know if we can be the worst record, even if we wanted to, which, God help me, I hope we're not.
I mean, the Kings are just one game behind, and they have all their players. They really didn't do much. So, Rod, speaking about keeping players, the Milwaukee Bucks will regret not trading Giannis before the trade deadline.
I mean, of course they're not going to regret trading Giannis. They have him on their team. You don't trade Giannis for a bag of beans, okay? I'm sorry. Like, I am one who comes on here all the time and says that the NBA is a league that is led around by its star players, and that's absolutely true. But when you're the Bucks and you have a kind of guy like Giannis under contract for this year, and you still have him under contract for next year, I'm sorry. He can complain and moan all he wants, but you don't have to trade him for a bag of beans. So I think the Bucks were absolutely granted a huge favor by not having to trade him. And I think all it does is give him a chance to keep Giannis there. And he posted it himself. He says it's going to take the National Guard to pull him out of there, right? He posted the clip from Wolf of Wall Street, right? Where the guy's up there telling everybody, I'm not leaving. I'm not going anywhere. This is my home. 10 toes down. Giannis is in it for Cream City. I mean, we can talk all we want about what NBA analysts think would have been best for Giannis's career and what would have been best for the Milwaukee Bucks to try to do for their franchise. But that's all gobbledygook. Keep Giannis. He's one of the top 5 players in the world. That's what you do.
Chris, what do you think?
What you don't do is trade Giannis willy-nilly, like Rod said, because then you end up being like the Mavericks and get rid of Luka for essentially Chris Middleton.
Yeah.
Well, we'll talk about that here in a second. And then finally, this is not a true or false. The most impactful pickup of the trade deadline was Rod.
Ayo Dosunmu.
I have that written down. Ayo Dosunmu for the Timberwolves.
That's because that's how I look at it, right? Like,
yep, I agree.
Okay, sure, he's not the biggest name that moved, and he's not the best player that moved, right? And he's probably not even the guy that will create the largest win chasm between before the trade and after the trade, right? Like, that actually would probably go to Washington. Like, we can joke about what Washington did all they want, but the minute you play Trae Young and Anthony Davis on the court together, that Wizards team is 20 games better than any team they've put on the floor for the past 7 years. You know what I mean? So, like, that might be impactful that way. But the team that got a player that's going to help their rotation that's actually close to the title is Minnesota. Because if we look down in Denver and we see that Aaron Gordon is still having trouble with his hamstring, and we see that Christian Brown is just coming back, and then if we look in Oklahoma City and they've been scuffling a little bit and proved that they're mortal, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander just got hurt and is going to be out for a couple of weeks. And then you look up in Minnesota, and the one thing that they were lacking was a guard that could handle the ball, pass, and shoot the three a little bit and still play mean defense. Sounds exactly like Ayo Dosunmu to me. So he's not a huge name, Jimmy, but I think he might be the most impactful one. And since you asked the question that way, I think he's the clear-cut answer.
Crippler from Cleveland says Keon Ellis. We'll talk about the other person they got here in a few minutes. But Chris King, who you got? Who's the most impactful trade on the trade deadline?
To me, it is Jose Alvarado going to the Knicks. I think
It's a big one.
a player like this going to the Knicks is a perfect guy to come off your bench for your second squad. He is shrewd on defense. He hustles more than anybody else. I think he fits right in with that Knicks team and makes them deeper.
That Bing Bong guy. Remember that Bing Bong guy in that video after the Knicks won their first game a couple of seasons ago? That guy's going to be incredibly excited the first time Jose Alvarado hides in the corner and steals an inbounds pass.
You're going to love it. James Harden is on his, fourth or fifth team already? He's a Cleveland Cavalier. Seems a little desperate to me, doesn't it, Rod?
I'm actually all in on this move, Jim.
Let's go.
This is the kind of thing where, like, you know how Williams talks all the time about you hold your nose and you go to the window sometimes? That's kind of what James Harden is, right? Like, none of us like the way James Harden plays basketball. None of us like the fact that James Harden is an absolute basketball mercenary who will just cut bait on the situation that he's in to move on to the next situation, to get better money, to get a better situation. But I think all of us need to stop and think for a second. We would do that in our jobs as well. So why in the world do we hold that against James Harden for doing it, right? And you can not like the way James Harden plays basketball. And believe me, folks that are watching this maybe as a 15-second clip, I don't like the way James Harden plays basketball, but his stats the past 3 to 4 years are pretty unassailable. His last year in Philadelphia, he was high in the league in assists, helped win Joel Embiid the MVP, and he has been rock solid for the Clippers for the 2.5 years that he has been there. And Jimmy, you know who hasn't been rock solid for the Cleveland Cavaliers? Darius Garland, because I have him on my fantasy team and he never plays.
Chris, are you on Rod's side here, or are you going to go against him like you usually do?
I don't think I can go against him. I think he's right.
I think so too. Harden, like Rod said, he plays. He may not play his hardest every night, but he's going to play and he's going to be out there for. He's going to be able to score, get those assists up there, and Cleveland needs something. So I think that's going to be a really big pickup for Cleveland.
And here's the other thing, Jim. Mitchell's the killer on that team, right? What's the other knock we give to James Harden all the time? That he doesn't show
Can't do it in the playoffs.
Games,
Don't need him to. Don't need him
We've
to.
seen Donovan Mitchell. We've seen Donovan Mitchell put up a double nickel in the bubble, right? We've seen Donovan Mitchell do big things in the playoffs. He's good. I don't like that guy being good because he kills the Celtics, but he's good.
I think this has been one of the most entertaining and fun trade deadlines we've had in a long time. This is one where people said, not much is going to happen. Then everything happened on Tuesday,
last
Wednesday,
week.
Thursday. I mean,
you guys actually said it. You guys said a few more people would move than me. So actually, I should take.
I don't think you said anybody would move.
I did say Alvarado would move. I just had the team wrong.
I'm not sure what Rod Damnation's going to be, so we're going to go to that now because there's a couple other things I want to talk about. But, they could be Rod Damnations. They could not be Rod Damnations. Listen, I don't know.
They are not Rod Damnations.
We have to do something about this situation. The momentum is dying.
I don't understand no more distractions.
But I do believe we should all follow one path in life.
Hubris and ego and pride. Sorry, all that was a complete lie.
So Chris made mention of it before that the Dallas Mavericks have a little bit of egg on their face currently at this trade deadline. And I'm not really a big fan of kicking somebody when they are down. Shout out to Dr. Bowen. She has taught me a little bit better than that. I've become a better person, and I don't like to kick people when they're down. That being said, though, Dallas Mavericks, I got a shot coming in out of left field for you. I happened to tune into your game this evening where you're about to take on the San Antonio Spurs right before we started this podcast. And I see this little mascot figure bouncing around in the crowd. And I say to myself, I'm like, why is Blue at the Dallas Mavericks game? And then I realize Blue is not at the Dallas Mavericks game. The Dallas Mavericks have essentially copied the Indianapolis Colts mascot Blue for their Dallas Maverick, I'm guessing, right? I understand that a Maverick is a horse and that Blue is a horse because we are the Colts. So they're going to be a little bit similar there. But the Dallas Mavericks Blue mascot was awful bulbous. He had kind of like a white mohawk going, and he's kind of bouncing around and just doing a lot of shaking. And I'm just kind of like, that looks an awful lot like Blue, the NFL's best mascot. So Mavericks, You were foolish for trading Luka Doncic. You got screwed in this Anthony Davis deal, and everybody's piling on you. But I'm telling you, you copied the Colts mascot, and you know it. You should be ashamed of yourselves. Rodham Nation to the Dallas Mavericks.
They totally copied the mascot. Holy cow!
Yeah,
That is very close. The
wild,
nose.
isn't it?
The only big difference is there's some colored variations, but the nose is whiter on blue than the mascot of the Mavericks. Wow, which is Champ, by the way. Come on.
Yeah,
Champ.
they wanted the Maverick. They wanted him to be a little angrier, Jim. So they thought that the white nose of blue, you know what I mean, it softens him up a little bit more for the kids. They wanted the Maverick to be a little more angry, so he's got the dark nose.
Maverick is always angry. Chris, we're going to get to your King's Hardwood hierarchy just in a second here. We do need to talk about a couple things. Jaren Jackson Jr., the Grizzlies go all in on going all out. They want to lose a lot. They sent Jaren Jackson Jr. to the Jazz, Anthony Davis and Trae Young to the Wizards. Chris, your tanking teams aren't going to tank next year. Excited for that?
I mean, like Rod said, that Wizards team now is 20 games richer already. So like and the moves the Jazz made were also like they were right in the middle of the playoff hunt to me. So like I'm all for it. Give me teams that are trying to win, and I'll always be behind that.
The Jazz are going to be absolutely huge, Jimmy. We're going to be doing Jaren Jackson, Walker Kessler, and Lauri Markkanen. That's a huge front line.
When Jaren Jackson is your shortest front line defender, that's pretty good for sure. I think they're going to be really nice as well.
You got Ace Bailey, Keontae George. I mean, some things are happening out there in Utah, man.
And it helps that you have to have a floor for your payroll, right? So the Wizards, they have Davis on the floor. You got to pay somebody. Might as well pay him, see what happens. I think it's going to be more the same as it was in Dallas and not like it was in LA. I hope it's not. I really hope to see him and Trae together and just see what happens with that team. Maybe sell some jerseys, get some people in the stands. I like that a lot. And one more really, really good pickup I thought was Kobe White for the Hornets. I thought that was a really good pickup for a team that wants to continue on and get into the play-in tournament. The Bulls traded away their entire roster over the past 2 years and got 38 second-round picks and no first-round picks to show for it, but they do have a lot of guards. They have some people I actually like. It's just so many of them. As a Bulls fan, I have no idea what they're doing, Rod.
You guys are going to like Anthony Simons, man. I
Yep.
enjoyed Anthony Simons' short time in Boston. He was a nice little spark plug off the bench. That guy can absolutely shoot. I'm not sure Jaden Ivey can shoot. The Bulls
I
got
want
rid
him to
of
be good.
White Chocolate.
I want him to be good.
Everyone does, right? Niall's right here in my backyard. You know what I mean? At the University of Notre Dame. But and White Chocolate, Kevin Herter, you know, he ship him out. That's a bummer. So, but Bucci Mane, huh? Bucci baby, Vucevic to my Celtics.
Congratulations.
Right?
I like that.
Here's the
And
thing.
Rob Dillingham. Go ahead.
He's not going to start. He's not going to start. He's not going to supplant Neemias Queta. And I'll tell you something else. I don't know how much he's going to supplant Luka Garza. I can't believe I'm saying that, but I don't know how much he's going to supplant Luka Garza. Luka Garza does absolutely everything the Celtics want him to do.
I can't believe I'm saying this. I am now in third place in our wins league. So that's cool.
Let's go.
Wu-Tang with 162. Rod, 160. Congratulations for the first time in over 2 years. You're beating me. I have
Let's
153.
The
Derek has
Clippers are about to
144.
hurt me again, though. The Clippers are about to hurt me again.
They have 23 wins now. How many wins are they going to have in 3 weeks? More than 23 or 23?
They'll have 27.
And then Chris has 141. But what else does Chris have? He has the Kings Hardwood Hierarchy.
For the win.
When you don't do anything for 3 weeks but lose, you become the court jester. We're starting there first because the Kings are now on a 10-game losing streak, by far the worst in the NBA. Yeah.
Wait a
you're
minute.
the jesters.
DeAndre Hunter's coming to save the day, Chris. Come on, let's go.
That's
Win
big.
some games before you get out of the jester seat. All right.
Wow.
The
Zach
Pacers were
LaVine.
jesters. The Pacers were jesters for a long time, and then they started to win some games. They have more wins than the Kings. The Kings have lost 10 in a row. You're the jesters.
Zach LaVine picked up his player option already, Chris. He wouldn't do that if he wasn't excited about Sacramento's future, would he?
Or
Oh,
the $50 million.
All right. And just because I don't think the West has regressed a little bit, right? At the beginning of the year, we thought the best teams are out West. I think they've regressed a little bit. Like, we know the Wolves have made some moves, right? But OKC, now you got Shea hurt, right? I'm keeping you off. The Spurs, you can't keep Wemby on the floor consistently. I'm moving you off the list. All right? I'm going Pistons. I'm going Knicks. And because they've won 4 in a row, nope. I'm going to do this because they're not going to get a shout out anymore. I'm going to use the Charlotte Hornets as my prince because they've won 7 in a row.
Look out, the Hornets. You're absolutely right about that. But you know what, Chris? I hope you're wrong about it, because all of us NBA fans should want this Hornets team to continue to play well. Because if the Hornets continue to play well, our national nightmare of having to watch the friggin' Bulls, Hawks, and Heat in the play-in will be over.
Well, at least for one of them.
That's what I mean. It's change it up, right? Just put the Hornets in there, and at least it's not 3 of the same 4, because it's basically the Chicago Bulls, Miami, Atlanta Invitational with one guest at this point is what the East play-in is.
Right, and Milwaukee with Giannis still on the roster, they have a chance to get back into the play-in game as well, right? But the Knicks have won 8 in a row, right? And God bless them, they're playing great, but they still can't catch up to the Pistons because the Pistons have won 3 in a row and 8 out of their last 10 too. Right, but Charlotte has really impressed lately. We can't deny them anything. They won 7 in a row. All right, so it's all East this week, except for the Jester, because that's the Kings.
All right, that has been the fast break on the More You Know podcast. Right now, we're going to head right into, we know, it is time for WWE, and we have a WrestleMania main event for night 2 already set in stone. It's the beginning of February. It's CM Punk. It's Roman Reigns. And the question that everyone is asking across the world is, Chris, are you turning off WrestleMania before the main event?
I hate Phil more than I hate Roman. Go Reigns. Get that belt back.
Wow, Rod, the prop on that would have been interesting. Who's he going to pick, Phil Brooks or Roman Reigns, the man who hated the bloodline, hated the 1 or 3 champion? It's not rooting for Roman Reigns. However long he was champion, hated rooting for Roman.
Roman could have picked CM Punk because you're on the most popular show on Netflix. Sure, he could have picked CM Punk because he just absolutely is one of the fan favorites and he wants to take him down a peg. But no, he picked CM Punk because I hate you. I've always hated you. That was incredible. Roman Reigns is absolutely the man. Like, I should admit this, but this is how much I still love wrestling. I started getting goosebumps when Roman started getting all intense there, right? And it's just like, it sold it. Night 2 of WrestleMania just crystallized right there in my mind as Roman was getting all intense and Punk was looking at him with the smirk, but then Punk's smirk slowly went away and then he started getting all intense and like, yeah, bring it on. And then I was like, damn it, Phil's really, really good too. And then I saw an interview the next day where Phil was talking to, I can't remember who now, McAfee, I think it was. And he's like, oh, so somebody gave their best promo ever when they were in the ring with me? Shocking. So then he, of course, patted himself on the back, did a classic Phil move. And I'm just like, let's go. This is going to be a great main event. Also, I think I predicted it.
I think he's going to have to go heel. I think Phil's going to have to go heel because Roman's going to get cheered, which is crazy. No, I think Roman's going to go face. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. I think CM Punk's going heel.
We disagree here. No, we disagree here, Jimmy. Punk's going to be the face and Roman's going heel.
I don't think so, Chris. What do you think?
I don't care. I want Phil to lose. All right. And then once Phil loses the belt, I'll move on to someone beating Roman so we can get the belt off of him. But I definitely want that belt off of Phil. I want Phil's first main event at WrestleMania that he's been dying for to be a loss.
We already had that last year.
Okay, I want his second time in WrestleMania to be a loss.
So the thing is, though, your boy took a lot of shrapnel. Drew McIntyre really got talked down to as their world champion for SmackDown. McIntyre's got to come and do something to kind of get that aura back a little bit because it didn't go very well for him.
It was it was so convenient for them to do it on not McIntyre's show, right? So he couldn't come out there and put them in their place, right? And Roman kind of even mentioned it. He's like, you think you're more of a threat to me than Drew? So I think Drew's all right. I think he's going to do something. Who knows what, because he's crazy.
He's gonna
But
cheat. That's what he's gonna do, Chris. He's gonna cheat. He's gonna cheat. He's gonna attack somebody by coming up behind them in the backstage area, or he's gonna come out of the crowd and attack somebody when they're not looking. He's going to cheat. How many more times does Drew need to do something dastardly or cheat for you to admit that that's what he now does?
I mean, that's all Roman did for years, and you guys did nothing but applaud him as the OTC. All
While
he did
we
was
called
cheat.
him a heel. While we called
Yes,
him
that's
a
the
heel,
key.
we accepted reality.
Chris, are you excited at all about this possible three-way for the championship at Mania between Drew, Cody, and Fatu?
I don't want it to be a three-way.
I don't think it's going to get that far. Yeah.
I don't.
Who's winning
There's
Elimination
going to be
Chamber,
something that
Jimmy?
happens in Elimination Chamber, right? And that's going to be a guaranteed title shot. I think
I think Cody might win. It might be Cody Drew again.
That's terrible. Why do we need Cody to win Elimination Chamber to heat that back up, Jim?
No,
I don't
I'd
know
much
if
rather
we do
see
either.
Fatu versus Drew
Yes.
as the other main event.
Yes. Can't Cody just host it? Can't Cody just do the Miz spot and just host WrestleMania?
Host
Can we just do
WrestleMania?
that?
Number
Yeah,
one,
can we
number one guy in the company just host WrestleMania.
I don't want to see him fight Drew again, Jimmy. Like, I understand that, like, on paper, that seems like a WrestleMania main event type match. But the only problem is they've forced it down our throats for too long now that I'm going to be sick of it by the time it rolls around. I don't even care to see him go at it one more time.
Would you like it to be in a Hell in a Cell?
No.
Because I think that might be where they're going with all this outside interference. They've done a cage with, again, still someone came in. It might be something different. I don't think that might be where they're going.
So Gunther's facing
Somewhere where we don't know.
Where's Breaker then?
ahead.
Who's Breaker fate? Who's Breaker doing at WrestleMania then?
Well, who's in the Elimination Chamber, right?
No,
Because we're going to get Fatu,
Yeah.
Cody, Gunther,
Breaker.
probably Braun,
Break-
and
yeah.
then somebody
LA
else.
Knight.
I think
LA Knight.
maybe
LA Knight.
right? So give one of those other guys a chance other than Cody. Cody's been there, done that. We've had him, like
Well,
Rod
Jimmy's
said,
right,
shoved
though.
down our throat.
I know, but Jimmy's right. He's right. Cody's going to be a main event.
It's not going to be Gunther. I don't think it's going to be Gunther and Drew, though. I mean, it's probably going to be Gunther and Randy Orton is what I would think they're going to do. That legend.
Okay,
killer.
then pick out the other guy that's in the commercials for WrestleMania Las Vegas then. Who's Lesnar fighting?
I think it's Lesnar and Obafemi,
Okay, I'm fine
and
with that.
Obafemi wins.
So then the Braun Breaker
I
is
thought
again
they
the man
did-
left out, and we're just going to elongate this him and Pierce
Or
storyline.
do they do Braun Breaker, or do they do Braun? Yeah, I don't know. We got to figure out.
I want to see Pierce and Paul
Oh,
Heyman.
no, it's
fight.
Braun Breaker. It's Braun Breaker and the guy in the mask. That's who it's going to be.
That's Logan Paul.
I think
it's
it's
Logan
Austin
Paul as
Theory.
well.
I think Adam Pearce hit it right on the head. Last person I saw out with a mask and a hoodie was Austin Theory. I think that was Austin Theory. I think he is a snake in the grass for Rollins.
Doesn't it make much more sense for Logan Paul to be a snake in the grass?
Because he does a good
No.
job at that.
Yeah.
Logan Paul's all about himself surviving. He's not going to do
Right.
anybody else's dirty work.
But he's doing
Well,
it for
that's-
himself.
He's doing it for
No,
himself,
but
yeah.
that's a stomp. That's a signal from Seth Rollins.
No, that's to make it think it's Seth Rollins. It's to throw him off the scent.
Yeah. All right. Well,
I still
we've
think
got
it's Theory.
We got a couple weeks before we have to really worry about that. All right, Gunther and AJ Styles at the Royal Rumble. First of all, let's talk about the Royal Rumble in general. I thought the arena itself, they put it up, looked okay. The lighting was horrendous. Those white lights were bad. It didn't seem like anyone was there. I know it wasn't completely full, but a lot of people were. I mean, it was basically full, but you couldn't tell. I thought that was bad. The crowd, I guess the crowd was told they can't cheer very much from people that were there until the very end when the security was very strict on a lot of things. Overall, I thought that was poorly done. They're never going to go back there again for the Royal Rumble. I guarantee you that. And we've got to figure this WrestleMania thing out. Maybe do night one in Saudi and do night 2 in the States, because I did not like that whole setup at all. I thought it diminished the Royal Rumble, which is my favorite event of the year. Rod, thoughts?
The women's Royal Rumble seemed like it was happening at the Armory. I mean, absolutely. The women's Royal Rumble seemed like it was happening at the Armory. Like you could have went down and gone by the local Lions Club, got yourself a little bit of cotton candy, and then got a bag of popcorn for $1.50 and sat down in a metal folding chair right next to the replica of the World War II fighter plane and saw that women's Royal Rumble go off. That was the kind of event, of environment that thing was happening in. You can do cool things with LED lights. Intuit Dome in Los Angeles has shown us that, but this ain't it. And I also think it's a very, 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 very bad look that it's a pin drop for the women's Royal Rumble. Okay. Again, I understand it's a different country and they treat things different over there, but it's just not a good look for the WWE that the women's Royal Rumble completely comes off as an afterthought. It's just not a good look.
Chris?
Yeah, no. Unfortunately, I thought a lot of that, because there wasn't the emotion in the crowd. It didn't play through the TV well. It was kind of a snoozer of a PLE. Let's be honest, right? And I should be happy. Liv won the Women's Royal Rumble. I'm a big fan of hers. I think she's great for the company. I think her matches are spectacular. I think she's great on the mic. Give me more of that. But like, it seemed like it just fell flat.
Jimmy, I got one other gripe here, and I don't want to be jumping on this train because it's something that I've seen talked about an awful lot, and I've thought that maybe a little bit too much credence was given to it. But the Def Rebel of it all, it's just got to stop. It's got to stop. It just has to stop. All of these damn songs sound exactly the same. None of these songs have any personality to them whatsoever, except for a very select few. And so it's so much of a song hits that sounds exactly like another song. You don't have the person's name up immediately because whatever smoke or lightning or whatever thing they're having happen at the beginning of their thing happens. 10 seconds are going by before you even realize who's coming down because everybody's damn theme sounds the same. And they took away Vaquer's theme. What are we doing?
That was such a good theme too. I don't know what's going on. Maybe it's a licensing issue that they just can't. But they also were $1 billion company, so they should be able to take care of that. Women's Royal Rumble overall, I thought it was fine. There were a lot of women in the ring at once when you kind of like to get people out a little bit more. Brie Bella made her triumphant return and got the biggest pop of the night, I believe, by the Saudi crowd. There were a lot of women crying in the audience because they're so excited to see her. Big shout out to the seamstresses, by the way, making all the women look as great as they can in full bodysuits. I thought,
okay, who's Brie Bella? Because this is the first time I've ever seen her in a ring.
So Brie Bella is Nikki Bella's twin sister, like legitimately in real life. Okay. Also,
so they're real sisters. Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, they're real sisters. They came up in the Divas era, and then they transitioned into the women's wrestling era. Brie is also married to Daniel Bryan, or Bryan Danielson, if you will. That's why everyone was doing the yes chants for her, or the Miz kicks, as Michael Cole would say, which I thought was pretty funny. So that's why they were excited to see her back. That's why they did the yes chants. I thought that Sol Ruca did a great job. She is a star. Just put her on the main roster and make her a star. It's not that hard. That Soul Snatcher, I was watching with Jackson, and he hadn't seen that before. He just looked at me like, what was that? An amazing move that she did. Probably not a good thing to do on the outside of the ring in an elimination match. Soul, you're still young. It's okay. We'll figure that out. But Liv Morgan gets the win. I thought that was the right choice. I picked Liv Morgan, so I'm excited for that.
Apparently, that's how we're going to end all women's Rumbles now, Jim, because am I wrong here?
I think, has it been every ending to every women's Royal Rumble? It's been at least 3, and there's been 9 of them.
And certainly, like, Liv's been involved in a couple of them before, too, right? So, I mean, I guess, she's getting to get back this time, because I think maybe it was Rhea got her one time, and she was bounced out after being in forever, and Roxanne Perez was in for a long time. And I'll tell you who I walked away impressed with, Jimmy. Kiana Dior. Like, what are we doing with her in the business suit as Julia's advocate? She's a powerhouse, man. Like, she looked like Charlotte Flair at times in that ring to me. Like, what are we doing with her?
There were a lot of the NXT women that did a great job, and very excited to see that moving forward. I think the women's Royal Rumble, there wasn't a lot of surprises. There really weren't very many surprises.
Second biggest pop, second biggest pop of the Rumble, Jimmy? I'm interested to see who you think it was. I've got an answer. Who do you think it was?
Oh, it was when
No, the women's Rumble.
yeah,
Not just
yeah. When what's her name got thrown out? Lash Legend. When Lash Legend got thrown out because she threw out Brie Bella. When Lash Legend got thrown out, she got a gigantic pop. That might not be who you're thinking of, but remember that was awesome. Who are you thinking of?
I was thinking of our girl Chelsea Green. Chelsea Green,
no question.
Performance in the Rumble when she hit, people went nuts. They were singing her song a little bit. Like she got one of the biggest reactions of anybody just coming to the ring. And then her stuff with Alba Fire being down, walking on all fours, and then Chelsea hitting her and getting back in the ring is just absolutely perfect. I really hope, Jimmy, that they pull the trigger on a story like you've talked about where Chelsea is like the champion through nothing but dastardly means because she does it better than anybody else.
She has everything they want. She has the looks. She has the charisma. She's over. I don't understand. I mean, she's tall. Like, what are you going to do? She can be blonde if you want her to be.
Her husband's in the company now, which is something else they like an awful lot.
Yeah. I don't know. All right, Chris, AJ Styles and Gunther. AJ Styles is retired. Your thoughts on that match?
Why even announce that this is going to be his last year if they're going to do something like this, right? Like we just found out like a month or two ago that this is going to be his last year, and the first PLE that we get to, oh, nope, he's retired now, right? That's not what I wanted. I don't think it's what anybody else wanted. I mean, I guess if all your goal is to build up Gunther as this legend killer, then yeah, but save it for later in the year. I mean, at least August, right? So it's a little bit more sudden that we were thinking of, but you still get 8 months of AJ being phenomenal before we see him retire.
Chris, I love that. And I had so many of those thoughts immediately after the match. I was really, really angry. I even considered jumping on the Morgan Instagram account and just absolutely raging against the WWE because I thought this is crap. How dare you rob us of AJ Styles? And then I also thought back to the match previous to that match where my pick to win the Women's Royal Rumble was not even in the match. Okay, Bianca Belair did not even appear 1 through 30 in that match, so I had no chance to win that. Then I listened into a podcast, and what I had to realize is that as much as I want something in wrestling, real life can sometimes get in the way, okay? Apparently, AJ Styles' contract ran out at midnight the day of the PLE, okay? So the WWE is going to have to sign him to a whole new contract to be able to keep him through the rest of the year. And it also seems as if AJ Styles doesn't want to wrestle anymore. Saw a clip today where he went on Stephanie McMahon's podcast and had an absolutely heartbreaking line that his son said to him, where his son literally said to AJ Styles, a bunch of people come up to me and say, isn't it cool that your dad is AJ Styles? And he says, no, it's not cool because when your dad's AJ Styles, he doesn't get to come home. So AJ just doesn't want to wrestle anymore, right? And then I heard that Bianca Belair has a serious problem with her finger. Like it's a serious problem. The problem was with her knuckle, right? And what they would do for a lot of regular people is they just wouldn't do anything for it. And then your knuckle wouldn't be able to bend. And that's just how people would go on. Well, if you're a wrestler, your knuckle has to bend. So Bianca Belair dealing with a serious finger injury. She can't come back and make me happy. AJ Styles wants to go home and be with his kids, so he can't make me happy. Real life getting in the way of wrestling, Jimmy. I didn't like it.
Yeah, I listened to the whole podcast with Stephanie and AJ, and it was a really good podcast. And it really came. I left with two things. Number one, he's not going to go to AEW and wrestle. He's going to be with the WWE. I do not think they would have had this podcast with him, with Stephanie, if that was the case. The second one is he's not done wrestling either. He will wrestle again. He did mention that every wrestler gets at least one fake retirement. So it's, you never say never. If I want to tag with my son or whatever like that, that'd be great. Also, number three, Stephanie, don't mess with Stephanie and her kids. Just for the record, don't mess with Stephanie and her kids. But anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wouldn't he do at least one more match in New Japan? We know he's huge there. I would think he'd do one more there too.
He's huge in TNA as well. They're going to want him for something.
I mean, I think TNA would be, they've got a relationship with WWE. New Japan doesn't. And we got to remember, everyone that he feuded with in New Japan is basically gone. They're either in AEW or WWE now. So I don't see him doing that. Just after this podcast, I don't see him doing that. Now, I could be wrong. He could be on Dynamite next week. Who knows? But it was interesting to kind of see the inside of what he's thinking, and gets to see his daughter grow up, be at home, and it's tough. Even now with the schedule they're on, they are gone all the time. So that was not a very happy ending. And this Drew McIntyre and Sami Zayn match was not what I was expecting at all. This was basically a squash match, and McIntyre destroyed Zayn. Is McIntyre the champion? Good, sure. Zayn as a champion, though, it would have been something fun for the show, and it really wasn't. I did not like this match at all. I was bored throughout it. Rod, thoughts?
Jimmy, what is it about Sami Zayn that he can lose and we all don't care, but other people lose and we start to lose interest in them, right? And that's why the WWE protects so many people, and it's why they have so many false finishes that you and I complain about so often, because you and I always come on here and say, just have balls enough to have a guy lose. It's okay. But apparently Sami Zayn's the only guy who can lose and be okay, because you're right. That was a squash match. He got beat down by Drew like he gets beat down so often. He did the Sami, I'm coming back for one last, can you believe it? I'm the world's best underdog, and then just got absolutely wasted. So, but they'll fire Sami Zayn back up 5 weeks from now. He'll come out and he'll do a rip-roaring promo, and everybody in the crowd will get right behind him and ready for him to win the championship again. And what I thought about Jimmy was the Monday Night Raw or Friday Night SmackDown where Sami randomly wins the title, a la our guy, Mick Foley, is going to be a very, very, very happy day. He'll probably only have it for a couple of weeks, the same way Mick Foley did, but at least they'll give it to him once, and that'll be a happy day.
Chris, I'm sure you gave this a 4-star match.
I mean, of course I'm happy. And listen, I have a very different relationship with Sami Zayn than you guys do. Remember, my first introduction to him was watching him lose to Johnny Knoxville. Okay? So
Mousetrap match, yep.
Yeah, he's not that big of a deal to me. I've never quite bought into this whole thing, right? He has some good matches. He's a great wrestler. But no, I think this should have been a squash match. You're not going to ever convince me in any other type of situation that Sami Zayn can walk into a ring with Drew and hold his own.
I mean, in real life, he probably could, just for the record. But this isn't real life. This is professional wrestling. Chris, you understand that match was like years and years ago. Sami Zayn has gone through a huge transformation over those years, but your first
impressions mean a lot. I hate Phil. I never saw him wrestle before, but my first impression was of him being essentially an asshole to the WWE. And so, yeah, first impressions are big. First impression of Drew, seeing him with a big broadsword cutting the ring in half. Yes, of course, I'm going to love that, right? First impressions are big.
AJ Styles in the podcast had a really kind of a huge comment. He said, I don't believe in first impressions because you never know when someone's having a bad day. Give someone a second chance.
Nice. And I will not stand for Fear Factor House of Fear host Johnny Knoxville slander on this podcast. Okay, Chris, that was a very entertaining WrestleMania match. Wee Man body slammed Sami Zayn. All right,
I know. I love that. I love that match, but not because of Sami Zayn.
See, but that's
because of Johnny Knoxville.
What they did. Sami Zayn, though. That's why he's so good.
Go ahead, exactly. Jimmy and I understand that Sami Zayn is the one who makes that match. You one day will give up this fandom gimmick you have and come to our side and realize that Sami Zayn is the talented as hell professional wrestler. And Wee Man and Johnny Knoxville and Steve-O all look like complete idiots if Sami Zayn doesn't get them through that match.
All right, we are running a little long here, but the Men's Royal Rumble, Obafemi, I thought looked terrific. I thought he was an instant star. Him coming out first was great. The Braun Breaker attack was a way to get him out. They're going kind of back to that well again, but who is it? I thought that was an interesting moment as well. the surprises, La Parca and Yeska
Iguana!
and
Iguana!
and Mr.
Mr. Iguana friggin'
who's
rules,
not-
man.
who is an iguana. He is an iguana, not a person in an iguana. He is an iguana. That no one knew who they were. I thought our boy LA Knight looked good, but overall, I think this was a Roman Reigns win, and I'm okay with it, Rod.
Listen, you give me a Royal Rumble where Damian Priest chokeslams Zayesca, and I am friggin' in. All right. I love seeing Iguana come into the ring. The only thing I would have liked better than seeing Iguana was say his name and he appears, but he had to get ready for the big ladder match. Shout out to my guy Joe Henry, NXT champ once again. Love to see it.
I'm really surprised it took you guys this long to mention his name. I thought you were going to lead in with that, Jimmy.
At one
It was a hell
point
of a
I
ladder
would
match.
have, but yeah. Powerhouse Hobbs is now Royce Keys.
I love that. Nobody knew who Powerhouse Hobbs was, but they had to let us know that that's not his name anymore.
Yeah, that was not a good place to debut him because they don't have AEW in Saudi Arabia. Also, does Obafemi kind of block out Powerhouse Hobbs? You know, they're kind of,
Yes.
really big, strong guys.
Yes. Powerhouse Hobbs better be going to NXT for a little while.
Well, no, he's got to be on the opposite show. He's got to be on SmackDown. Has to be on SmackDown, which I think he will because he wasn't on Raw. But yeah, he's good. He had a really good feud with Cody. Really good feud with Jericho as well, just for the record. So he actually squashed Jericho once. So that's interesting.
That's also a name, Jimmy, that we all thought we were going to see on the Raw after the Royal Rumble. Or at the
I'm
Royal
so
Rumble.
glad we didn't see him on the Rumble though. Oh, what a waste that would have been. That was a good call on whoever's making that call.
I thought he was
not to
coming. I
debut
thought
him.
he was coming on the Raw. I thought he was coming on Raw.
All right. Any other notes before we say goodnight to our wonderful audience?
Jimmy, I actually do have a quick note. I make fun of the AEW promotion quite often. I call them the Janitors League, but something happened in an AEW match the other night, and just search it out on Twitter. You'll find it. There's a wrestler, Brody King, I believe. Is that his name, Jimmy?
Yeah.
Yeah, Brody King was in the ring with MJF, and something happened in the ring of that AEW match that if it happened in a WWE match, the lights in the arena would be shut down and the feed would be cut off. So I hear you, AEW. I appreciate you for allowing that to happen.
And it looks like we've been also taken off. And with that, you've been listening to the Morgan You Go podcast. Thanks for listening, everybody. Have a great night.
Like, comment, and subscribe. Goodbye, net. Yeah.
Rod was First Amendmented.
I gotta say, I did. They moved up in my. They're not the